Hello everyone and welcome back to Complete Frontend. This is Ms. Shrikant. In this video, we are going to be learning about non-primitive data type in JavaScript. In the last two videos, we dove deep into the primitive data types. In the first video, we looked at number, string, and Boolean primitive data types, which are the most used data types in JavaScript. Then we also learned about begin, symbol, undefined, and null in the next video. So in this video, we are going to be learning about the non-primitive data type. There aren't many, there is only one, and that is the object data type in JavaScript. Okay, so what is an object? An object is nothing but a non-primitive data type, a mutable data type, a data type that resides in the heap memory. Hold on, right? Okay, so let me explain all of that to you right now. So what is a non-mutable or immutable data type and a mutable data type? Let's understand that first. Mutable means something that can be changed. Something that can be changed. Okay. And immutable is nothing but something that cannot be changed. Cannot be changed. Okay. And the main thing we need to remember is all the primitive data types are immutable and all the non-primitive data type, that is object and everything that comes under that, is mutable. That is non-primitive in nature. Got it? So let's try to understand what I mean by that. So an object, first of all, is nothing but is like a molecule. So just like a immutable data type, that is your primitive data type, if a string is the type of the data type, then it can only be a string. It cannot be a number, right? It cannot hold string and a number within itself. Can it? No, right? But an object can. So how do you write objects in JavaScript? So listen to me very carefully over here. To declare an object, you can say let, then you can say the name of the object, then equal to, and then you can start with this flower bracket. And inside of this, say a person has what? A name. Then you can say name is equal to Shrikant. Okay. Then you can put a comma and you can say the next property. You can say age is equal to 29. If it is a number, you can say it's number. Then you can say something like city. It could be Bangalore. Okay. Because I'm from Bangalore. And then you can also say something like is adult. Okay. And this is true. And then you can close this out. Now, in this one person object, you can see that you found all the different kinds of data. This is a string data type, right? Like we saw in the previous video, this is a string, this is a number, this is a string again, and this is a Boolean. Agreed? So we are using all of that in one data type, right? That is the object data type. Now you might be asking, hey Shrikant, what about the other objects or the other non-primitive data types? What about arrays? What about date? If you're coming from another programming language, you might already be aware of these concepts. Guys, if you're not aware of these concepts, then you have nothing to worry about because you come as a fresh slate. I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know. There will not be a single concept that is missed at the end of this JavaScript tutorial. That is my guarantee. Every single thing will be taught. And even after this course, I'm going to teach you the hardest JavaScript interview questions. That will be another playlist that I'm going to do that will get you ready enough to crack a Microsoft or a Google interview. Okay. So, so Shrikant, you are in Microsoft. How do you say you will help us, clear a Google interview, guys? I have been filtered for Google 3 times already. The Google HR themselves keep pinging me, hey, you work in Copilot at Microsoft. Can you please give us an interview at Google? I myself say, hey, I'm not interested. I'm not looking out. Atlassian people just pinged me a couple of days ago. So I keep getting these interview calls and I sometimes attend these interviews just to understand what kinds of questions are asked. That is how I know what Google and what other interviews, other companies might be asking. Okay. So these are not just bogus claims. These are claims that are backed by data. Okay. Now, getting back to this. So there are other data types as well. And those data types are array, function, date, regex expressions, map, set, weak map, weak set. All these are objects. They are the subsets of objects. All this will come under this object data type itself. Okay. So I'll just write them quickly for you. So all these are your non-primitive data types, guys. Okay. So the main one, there is actually only one. All of them are, all the below ones are derived from the main one itself. One is the object, and everything else is derived from that object itself. If you have one object, you'll be able to create all of these data types by yourself as well. Correct? Cool. So now we are going to be learning about object in this lecture. From the next lecture, we are going to be learning about each one of these primitive and non-primitive data types. There will be a lecture on numbers, there will be a lecture on booleans, there will be a lecture on date, there will be a lecture on regular expressions, and so on. I'm going to make every single one so that you understand everything in depth. You go to a Google interview, you go to a Microsoft interview, they are not going to ask you a React question. Surprise, right? I was not asked the React question when I joined Microsoft. I was not asked to create a nice looking page. Hey, can you do that? Can you do a click on that? That's not what they asked me. Guess what they asked me? They asked me DSA questions. They asked me system design questions. And the most critical, they asked me core JavaScript questions. I have been in the interview panel myself for Microsoft in the interviews where we were hiring SD1s and SD2s. And I have taken more than 40 to 50 interviews at Microsoft already. And from that experience, we never ask React. We only ask the core concepts. That person will be able to learn or unlearn any framework or library. React is a library, Angular is a framework, Next.js is a framework. If they know JavaScript, they'll be able to do anything. That is the reason why I am going so much in depth into all the concepts of JavaScript, because that is what you need to crack top tech. Okay. So getting back to the lecture, let's create a person right now. Okay. Let's create a person data type. So I'm going to comment this out and let's create a person. Const person is equal to name. I'm going to say Shrikant, age adult, and I'm going to say city is going to be Bengaluru. Okay. Awesome. So I have created these properties in this object. Now, how do we print this? So you can just say console log person is equal to person. Let's quickly try to run that in the terminal itself. Okay. So you see the person is printed over here. Now, what if I want to print just the name of the person? You can just say person.name. Similarly, you can print person.adult, person.city. Okay. And you'll be able to get the same result over here. And it prints person. Okay. Awesome. Now, let's compare how an object works versus just a primitive data type. So if I get back to my primitives, say I'm going to say here, first name is going to be Shrikant. Okay. Let's do something interesting. Now I'm going to say const new name is equal to first name. Okay. Now what's going to be in first name and new name? Let's print both of them actually. Console.log first name as well. I'm now going to use my browser to show you this so that you also know how to debug in the browser. Shift Command C or Control Shift C in Windows and Mac. It is Shift Command C. And we know how to run this, right? You need that live server extension, which I shared in the previous lecture. Open with live server from your index.html file, and you'll be able to get this. Okay. So open this actually, open the developer console, and you are able to see everything over here. Awesome. Getting back to the JS. So in here, we see that new name is going to be, new name is Shrikant and first name is also Shrikant. What happens if I change the first name now? So if I say first name is equal to Shri now, and then again, let's print both of them. Let's print both of them. What do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? We have assigned first name to new name. So will both of them change or will only one of them change? So we are not able to see anything over here. We are seeing an error. Assignment to constant variable. My bad, right? Because I have assigned this as a const. We need this to be a let, right? So let's make this let and get back. So I think I have another const assigned over here. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So now you see the first name is Sri, but the new name is Srikant. Why? Because in JavaScript, it is going to create a new variable with a new memory location. Let me explain that with the diagram, what is actually happening in this code. First, we said, my bad. So, first we said first name is going to be Shrikant, right? Now, from the previous lecture, if you saw how the memory works inside of JavaScript in the lecture, the variables lecture that I spoke about earlier, you will know that what is going to happen is there are multiple memory locations like this. I drew this diagram and I explained, right? If you're directly coming to this lecture, guys, please watch that lecture. I cannot explain that again in this lecture because people are following this playlist and we cannot just explain the same thing in every video. Please go back and visit the previous lectures. I hope that is understandable. When I say first name, what's going to happen is first name and the value of Shrikant will be put in this memory. Let's call this 01 into 0001. Okay. Now, when I say the new name, that is going to be new name is equal to first name, what is going to happen is say this is nothing but new name now. Let's call this as new name. And here again, Shrikant is copied. In both of these things, the same value will be present. It is not referenced. It is not referring to this value. Hey, when Shrikant comes, just refer to this value. No, it is actually copying it. Control C, Control V. Okay. And now what happens is now I say, hey, first name, go and change it to Shri, right? So I'm going to say this first name now is going to be Shri. So what is going to happen here is now this is going to change to Shri, but guess what? This is copied one. And when was it copied? Before changing this to Shri, it was copied. So this is going to be Shrikant only, and this is going to be Shri now. That is what happens under the hood when you're working with primitives. Now, I want to tell you one other thing which you may not have known. When we actually reassign to a variable, when I say first name is equal to Shrikant, this could be an interview question. I think I actually got this as an interview question in one of the lectures. So I would highly suggest you to listen very carefully. And then I say first name is equal to Shri. Let's understand what is going to happen, guys. The first time it is going to use this memory location. Okay. Next time when I say first name is equal to Shri, it is not going to be using this. Now what it's going to do is it's going to first save it in another memory location. Let's say this is 0 into 0001. This guy will be 0002. This will be 0003, 0004, 0005, 0006. Now, what is going to happen is it's going to say that new Shri value, put it over here. Okay. The value will be put in a very new memory location. This will be Shri now. And it's going to say the variable that we had before, which is the Shri variable, sorry, the first name variable. So this had Shrikant. Okay. And this variable name was called as first name. The variable name will now be moved to this one. It's going to say until now, first name variable is pointing to 0101 into 0001. Now the first name variable pointer will change to 01 into 0006. And what is going to happen to this memory location? First name is not pointing to this anymore. This is idle all by itself. Nobody is using it. Then there is a cleanup mechanism in JavaScript called as garbage collector, which I briefly talked about in one of the previous lectures. I'll be making a full length lecture on that anyway. So don't worry about it now. So that guy will come and say, hey, the garbage collector is going to be collecting this value into itself and it will eventually free it up. Got it? This is why the primitive data types in JavaScript are called as immutable. Immutable means it did not change this memory location directly. It actually created a new one and moved this pointer over there. So at any point of time, it is under the hood equivalent to creating a new variable and then pointing it. But we outside feel like it is the same variable because the pointer was moved to the same variable name. Got it? So that is why it is called as immutable. That means it is creating a new one. Immutable means cannot be changed. That means initially it created in this memory location. It could not be changed. So it created in a new one and then moved the reference. That is called as immutability. It cannot be rewritten. This is like writing on a permanent marker. Cannot be rewritten again. Okay. Now let's move to the object data type. Before that, I want to show you something on the code. Okay. So if I move back to our code, now let's see what actually happens if we create a new person data type. We already have a person data type over here. So I'm going to comment this out, guys. You already know what is happening over here. So now I'm going to say const new person is equal to person. Okay. Now what is going to be new person dot name, guys? Can you guess it? New person dot name, what will it be? It's also going to be Srikanth, right? But this is nothing but referencing to this same one. I'll explain you in the iPad in just a minute, but just listen to me for now. Now, if I just say person, new person dot name is equal to Sri. Now let's print the person dot name and the new person dot name both. Okay. We have initially printed person dot name, that is Srikanth. Now see, even if I am assigning the new value to new person dot name, it is not actually creating a new person. It is referencing to the old person itself. That is why we say objects are mutable. That means they can be changed. Let's get to the iPad to be able to visualize what is happening under the hood. Now, what is happening over here? This is our memory location. Like I just mentioned, this is 0001, this first guy. Then we have other memory locations over here, right? This is 0002, 0003, 0004, and 0005. Now, initially I assign person. So two things are going to happen. This is all now happening in the heap. Okay. All this is now happening in the heap. If you don't understand what stack versus heap is, go to computer science fundamental lectures in this channel itself. Go to fundamentals of computer science lecture and watch the lecture called as stack versus heap. You will be able to get what I mean. So now what is happening over here in the heap? Initially, this object person was stored. Now I said new person is equal to person, right? What is happening is to this person variable is pointing to where? It is pointing to 01 into 0001. First row, first one. Okay. Now, when I say new person is equal to person, it's going to say point to the same guy. Essentially, under the hood, if there is a person called as Rajesh, if his nickname is Raj, he's the same guy, right? At the end of the day, it's the same guy. It's not a different guy, right? If you call it Raj or Rajesh, it's the same guy. Similarly, it's the same memory location over here where we added the data and it's just pointing to it. Now, when I say new person, so the same way, if I say Raj, now your roll number is 0001. Okay. If I say Rajesh, your roll number is 0001. Will it be two different people or same person? As I said, it's the same person, right? So the same person's roll number will be changed. Now, similarly, in the code also, if I say new person dot name is equal to Shri, what is going to happen is it's going to change the value in the same memory location. It's not going to change the memory location into the new one because it is mutable. Mutable means can be changed. Okay. Mutation is nothing but changing. It is mutable. So here what is going to happen is it's going to change the actual value. That is why you saw that. Now, whether you say Raj's roll number or Rajesh's roll number, it changed from, for example, previously 002 to 0001. So both will be changed. Whether you call Rajesh roll number or Raj roll number, doesn't matter. Both are pointing to the same memory location. That is the concept in non-primitive data types. This is to explain you that primitive data types are non-mutable and non-primitive data types are mutable. Okay, that is primitive data types, they cannot be changed. They will always be created into a new memory location, and non-primitive data types, they will not be going to a new memory location. They'll be changed in line. Okay. I hope you understood the concept of primitive and non-primitive data types and how objects work under the hood. Now, in the next video, I'm going to exactly tell you how the data types are stored in the memory location. So that is going to be a under the hood video. Okay, there are very interesting concepts on how the 64-bit memory stores this data type with itself, because I told you, right, in JavaScript the value holds the data type, not the variable, if you remember in the previous lecture, in the first video of data types. So I'll tell you how exactly that happens under the hood, okay, in the next video. So stay tuned, guys. Please like, subscribe, and share these videos if you like this channel to other people. This is a small channel. We are trying to grow now, right? So please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And adding comments in the lecture helps it reach to more people. Liking and adding comments makes YouTube algorithm to show it to more people. So please like and comment as well. Hope you like this video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for tuning into Complete Front.